Hi, in this video I'm going to be showing you the new Cloverbook XL Pro and how it compares to other devices that have similar features, both within its own range of the Cloverbook range and also from our other Clearview speech range. So this is the Cloverbook XL Pro. It's a 16-inch screen or 15.6-inch screen electronic magnifier, and I'm going to be comparing it to the 24-inch Clearview speech just on the left here. So the Cloverbook XL Pro is a transportable desktop electronic magnifier, but what we mean by that is it can be moved easily from place to place because it only weighs 4.5 kilos. It can be either carried directly from room to room, or it can be folded up like so, and then either carried directly like this or put into its little briefcase, put into a drawer, or perhaps you're driving to see family and you want to have an electronic magnifier to use while you're staying with them. Perhaps it's just that you wish to move it from the living room to the kitchen, or perhaps from one classroom to another classroom if you're using it at school or in the workplace. So it has a vertical screen. This is one of the unique things about the Cloverbook XL Pro, is that the screen is hinged vertically, though it can be rested in on an angle, which is the way that it has worked for our Cloverbook 13-inch model. This is the Cloverbook 13-inch model. It has a 13-inch screen. It has exactly the same features as the Cloverbook XL Pro, but because it is smaller, it is considerably more compact and lighter, and maybe more popular perhaps at primary school, or for people that can't carry 4.75 kilos. So we have two offerings in this range. The larger screen will suit people with more significant vision loss. So what I'm going to be doing is comparing it to our large Clearview speech machine, which is a 24-inch screen, and I'm going to just zoom out a little bit so you can see both together. The first thing to notice is that the screen can be brought up to a comfortable working height in the same way as it can for the Clearview speech. This is important for reading comfort, so you can read for longer more comfortably if the screen is vertical like this. Of course, having a smaller screen than the 24-inch screen means you can't fit quite as many words across as you can on the bigger screen. So at the moment I have the magnification about the same for these two documents, identical documents, but as you can see, I can't fit quite the same width of information across the Cloverbook XL Pro as we can with the Clearview speech. But it's actually pretty sufficient for most people, even with significant vision loss. The magnification range is between 1.5 and 54 times on the Cloverbook XL Pro, and going from about 1.5 up to 75 times on the Clearview speech. The reason I'm comparing these two is because they actually have much the same features. They have a magnification, contrast and so on, but they also have text-to-speech. When people get tired, they can listen to the document as well as magnify it. So just looking at, bear in mind they have the same features in terms of magnification. So on the Clearview speech I can turn a knob and I can magnify. The same on the Cloverbook XL Pro, I can turn a knob and magnify. On the Cloverbook XL Pro I can also use pinch gestures to do the same thing, which I can't do on the Clearview. Another thing that I can do on the Excel Pro is I can actually move the actual live image with my finger. I can swipe it around, and again, I can't do that on the Clearview. What we do with documents, generally on both machines, is we find the magnification that's required, and then on the Cloverbook Excel, we simply move the physical paperwork left and right. On the Clearview Speech, we actually use a sliding platform to gently move the books and paperwork left and right, back and forward. There are some advantages for big books, like coffee table type books. So that would be more comfortable using the sliding tray. But most people with regular documents and books will find that just being able to move it by hand without a sliding tray works perfectly well. And of course, not having the sliding tray cuts down on the weight and makes it more portable. So they all have similar features for contrast, so we can turn a dial to change the colour of the background and the text, and we can do the same on the Clearview Speech as well. So we can rotate through different combinations of colours. We also have features like line markers, so so you can keep things straight when you're moving them. Similarly, we have the same on the Clearview. We can change the line markers and rotate through different settings there.
Line mask off.
And we also have the ability to write under both of these, not just read but write. So I'll just demonstrate that for both models. I'll get something, a typical writing task would be, say, doing a crossword. So on the Cloverbook Excel Pro, one of the lovely things about it is that the camera being just underneath this orange button here, we can actually see our real hand as well as the magnified hand on the screen at the same time, which is really helpful for orientation. We find that people find this task and other tasks like scrapping or beading, those sorts of things, much easier when they can see their real hands as well as their magnified hands. On the Clearview, we can do the same, but we have to reach much further behind the screen of the Clearview before we can actually see it on the magnified on the screen here, which means there's quite a reach underneath the screen and we can't see our real hand when we're looking at the magnified hand. So not quite as convenient for those kind of writing or manipulation tasks. I did mention that both of them have got text-to-speech. And so on the Clearview, the way this works is we tap the corner.
Position the text inside the window and tap the screen.
And we position the document inside this window here and tap the screen. Notice that I can't quite fit it in widthways here, but let's give it a go. And we're going to do the same with the Cloverbook Excel Pro as well. So here I long press the text-to-speech button.
A3 full page mode.
And it says A3 full page mode. I can actually fit something A3 size under here and it will be able to recognise it. So I simply press that
full page text to speech.
Full page text to speech.
Bring light back into focus with JR Site Support products. If you can no longer read your letters, bills or TV guide due to poor eyesight, or if you are one of the many thousands of Australians living with macular degeneration, glaucoma.
So we can actually magnify and listen at the same time. We can have a highlight moving through to show us where we are. We can do exactly the same with the Clearview Speech.
Electronic magnifiers when out and about at the shops, restaurants, etc. Software for your computer provide
simple controls to pause and so on to make it bigger and smaller. Change the voice, we can change to male, female, the same for the Cloverbook Excel Pro. So the text-to-speech features are very similar between the two devices. The difference is, of course, you have to bring your reading materials to the Clearview Speech because it's too heavy to move around. It weighs about 20 kilos. So that's going to stay in one place, in one room, on one table. Whereas the Cloverbook Excel Pro, that can be moved anywhere. So you could be reading a recipe on the kitchen bench and then you could put it on a small trolley in the living room and be reading a novel. So there's more flexibility with the Cloverbook Excel Pro.
Clearview on.
near view.
The other thing that's a point of difference, apart from the weight and so on, is that the Cloverbook XL Pro has got an extra camera. It's called a distance camera, and it's just tucked away conveniently in the arm here. And when I lift that up, I can actually swivel the camera in any direction, including to myself for self-viewing. So for example, if I was putting on makeup or just checking that I hadn't cut myself shaving or something, I could just switch to the distance camera.
Distance view.
And then I'll just zoom out a little bit, it's too large. So I can now, could now be checking my own face. I could even be aiming it down in front of me, so that I could maybe be doing a little bit of work like knitting or something like that, or working with an object that wasn't directly under the main screen. And finally, we can use it as a long distance camera. So for example, in a classroom, or maybe in a workplace where we're in a seminar or something, or we want to look at the presenter or at a whiteboard, we can actually use this distance camera to look at the whiteboard. So I'm just going to just swivel it now to aim at the whiteboard behind me here. And I can even adjust the actual angle of it too, so I can make it quite straight. I can magnify it either with a pinch gesture, and it's live, so I can actually move the magnified image around with my finger like this, and that's live. So even as the teacher might write, I'll just demonstrate that now. Let's say I'm the presenter. I could go up to the board, and I could just underline something, and that's all live. And so you can actually be following the presentation live. It's also possible to split the screen.
Horizontal split screen.
So for example, you might be doing some work down here, filling in a course book or something, but watching what the presenter is doing on the whiteboard at the same time.
Vertical split near view.
So those are the key features that separate these devices. So the strengths of the Cloverbook XL Pro are, of course, that it's very convenient from room to room. It also has the distance camera. The downside is it's not quite as big a screen as the Clearview 24. It doesn't have the sliding XY table, the tray at the bottom. But often these things are a compromise, and people will prefer the compromise of portability and convenience over the extra comfort features on the Clearview Speech. And finally, of course, there is an issue of price as well. So the Cloverbook XL Pro is $5,745, and the Clearview Speech is $7,990. So there's quite a substantial saving on the Cloverbook XL Pro compared to this and other models in the market. So that's just a brief overview of this new option. The outstanding features, just in summary, are the hinge screen that brings it to a comfortable working height, the distance camera, text to speech, and of course, most importantly, the ability to fold it up, pop it in a drawer, take it from one room to another. These are very powerful convenience features. Thanks for watching the demonstration, and if you have any questions, you can call Quantum, and our vision aid specialists will be able to help you with any questions you have. Thanks very much.